have some thoughts.
All right. Well, now is the time. I feel like we can do our debrief now, and then next week we'll have a new game to be filthy casuals at. Also, hey, thanks for carrying the
Hmm.
team.
You're quite welcome.
You did the job. The infiltrator MVP. Actually, I feel like support maybe needs a trophy as well because
Yeah.
poor support. You don't get to be the action star, but holy crap. So
Right.
tell us your thoughts.
So as to the ending, I understand and appreciate a good swerve, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get the picture that the swerve was supposed to be you thought you were doing this one thing, i.e., getting rid of or taking over ResTech,
Mm-hmm.
when in actuality you were a cat's paw for someone who was going to cause
Who is going to destroy it? Done.
this. Well, they were going to cause an apocalypse. Like the satellites that they drop out of the sky, haha,
Mm-hmm.
satellite rain, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I got that.
she says it was really hard to hear, but she says
Mm-hmm.
they're all falling, targeting major population centers.
Oh,
So
nice.
this wasn't just about getting rid of the satellites. It was about blowing up every single major city on the planet and reducing humanity to the Stone Age or industrial era, maybe. I don't know.
For the lulls.
For whatever. Well, that's the thing. We will never know
No, no, yeah, you can't know.
because we have no information about our employer,
Yep.
save for the middleman
Clearly,
who
also
was
was missing some information about their employer.
right. And you can't just throw in a line like, I shouldn't have trusted her. She betrayed us.
Yep.
Like, who are you talking about?
Yep.
You need to give me something. Like, this is like if you have a murder mystery novel and the author just comes in at the end and says, actually, it's this character who wasn't introduced before.
Yeah.
You're so silly for not figuring that out, audience.
Yeah. So all in all, I'd say the game itself was enjoyable.
Agreed.
I will say that in several ways, I think it could have been better very easily.
Yeah.
Um, as I said, enjoyable. No way does that make it a bad game. Just there are little things where it's like if you had gone one or two steps further, could have been a phenomenal game.
Hmm.
Storytelling was a little weak, but still there, and there was plenty of it.
For those that wish to delve.
Mm-hmm. But of the things we read, it was all red herrings. It was all flavor text. Um,
Right.
it was all stuff that
Very
you
little of it.
didn't really benefit from knowing in any way.
Very little of it impacted the actual game experience, except for these groups don't like each other, so if they're in the wrong area, they will fight.
Yeah.
But when you hear about, oh, the Eternals are having an interior shakeup of command because this one lady, while she still likes ResTech, hates Dengler or
Yeah.
whatever,
And Uzi
and then
Core
that
had the
never.
whole thing going on with the siblings and like
And we actually go after the head guy, and it's just walking through a door, and it says, "Good
yes.
job killing him."
Versus
Well
versus some of the
done.
other places where you go in and then the guy runs out and runs away.
Like you passed him in a revolving door, and you couldn't like turn it backwards because some of those comedy scenes where
Yes.
he pushes it one way and you hold it, and he pushes it the other way.
I mean, you could have also had literally we got a boss fight mechanism for the first
Hmm.
time in the final encounter,
At the last time, yes.
which I felt like maybe that should have been every time.
I mean, I get also that it's the guy, it's Dengler. He has access to
Yeah,
res
no,
tech
like
that
the
should be
res
used,
tech
but
part, the res tech
they
part,
should,
absolutely his, no problem.
yeah. But they could have introduced it like, okay, guess what? You're being attacked by this squad of people that Dengler sent, right? And you kill them, and all of a sudden your contact goes, "Holy shit, they're back! They're using the res tech exactly like we're using it."
Yeah,
And you have, a shadow archetype that you
or
have to
like
fight off.
the guy that we were supposed to kill in the hotel tower that we
Hmm.
literally walked in and good job. He could that could have been a fight. That could have been a fight.
You could just, yeah, put him in a mech.
Yeah, like
Have him
literally
climb into a tank.
give him stats and a gun. Like
Hmm.
any variation on that, you could still set a precedent for like a boss fight. And then when Dangler
And it
like
feels like there could
reses,
have
you're like,
been,
oh shit.
yeah, and there could have been at least two or three of those just to get you in the mind that there will be a boss fight of some sort.
Exactly. Or
And I get wanting to avoid, video gamey tropes, but
but you're a video game,
yeah, right.
and and you pulled off one of the worst tropes ever, which is the gotcha ending. I'm, I'm thinking about you, Diablo.
Yes. You are the hero. Here is how you failed. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Well, the thing that kills me is the retcon of it all. The retcon of Diablo,
A-
which is that this
Actually,
whole
all the
time,
heroes went, but
oh my god, like this whole time you've been being
yeah.
corrupted by your time, blah 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 blah, and that's why you
Hmm.
shove the soul stone into your forehead. Go fuck yourself.
But it's actually just the warrior because he's secretly the other son of
Oh
of
my
King Leoric
god.
and
Who is then
the rogue
also
and the
later, who's then
who is then
also later
also
the
later,
baby
yes,
daddy of. I can't even.
uh, Leah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Leah via Adria, who was not evil in the first game. She was just
No,
there.
she was my favorite
In fact,
character in the first game.
the point of her was she's this creepy person who might be thought of in normal times as a threat, but you know what? Demons are pouring out of the ground, and you need all the help you can fucking get.
And she's nice enough to give it to you. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I appreciate wanting to avoid some video game tropes, but you're still a video game, and that's okay. It's okay to be what you are,
Right.
and I mean that on every possible level. It is okay to be what you are.
And if you're gonna lean in away from video gamey tropes, you have to lean into something else.
Yes.
Like you can't just like dip your pinky toe in something and
Yeah.
then go, well, we're just doing it to avoid this some of this stuff.
I mean, you could have. I would have been actually kind of okay. I think. Um, Perspective bias and all that good stuff. Caveat here
Hmm.
with like completing the task, having something look weird or wrong, and our middleman going something is not quite right,
Right.
and then like have all of the Dracogenics guys drop. Like just they just die. They just drop. What the fuck just
Hmm.
happened there? And they're like, you need to get inside now. Like, don't tell you why. Cue some creepy music. You go inside. You get the villain monologue. Give me the villain monologue.
Yeah, Dangler had like no
Yeah,
character impact whatsoever.
like, or and even if it's not Dangler, you know what? Maybe we get to meet her.
Whoever she is,
Yeah,
yeah.
like give me a villain monologue and then have the world destroyed. But give
Give
me
me
my
something.
exposition.
Hmm.
um, Granted, though, I did play this game a lot where I was like, no, I don't don't really need your don't need your exposition. Take your weird emails and
It's
stuff
the
them in your butt.
ongoing. It is the ongoing debate about uh, collectible logs.
Mm.
Like ever since this, it really started back in System Shock days
Okay. Okay.
when when essentially the way you found out you're in System Shock you are a hacker who is woken from cryogenic sleep to solve a rogue AI basically taking over an orbital space station, and you're constantly crawling through this sprawling techno nightmare, and you never meet anyone who's actually alive. You either just miss them or they've been long dead. And the only way you really get any sense that humans inhabited this space are you pick up these logs, like their personal
Okay.
journal entries, captains' logs, notes, just random notes passed back and forth. And they add a lot of flavor to the world because they're written in the style of each person. So like
Yeah.
the engineer, the head chief engineer, isn't going to sound like the scientist who
Mm-hmm.
does the botany gardens and whatnot. Um, People still criticize it because we're just picking things up and either reading them or having them read to us rather than seeing a scene, right? I get that,
Okay.
but the problem isn't necessarily the way information is dispersed with. It is the amount of care you put into the disbursement. Like, I will always love
Yes.
System Shock 1 and 2 because uh, the logs are well written. They're written from the point of views of the characters. They give you information about the world without being obtrusive. Like, they don't go, as you know,
Yes. Oh God.
repeating commonly stated fact.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in this, I appreciate that they were going to give us information and stuff, but for the most part, like, you have the mission briefings and you have the emails,
And the emails
and
are not in order.
they are so completely separate from
Yeah.
whatever you are doing. You can get the data terminals in any random order,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're not in the mood to play conspiracy theorist or Dark Souls
I
lore
was
video YouTube channel,
I was defeated by the data terminal. It's a
yeah,
very difficult boss. But like, yeah, like, and you when you receive them, they're not in any order, so they're not given to you in a timeline order. It asks in this case, I think that the satellite rain logs asked for too much work on the part of the player without having created a game that made that effort feel like its own reward.
yeah, if you're dangling it, if you want to dangle information like, okay, here's what's going on in the plot in front of the player, but the plot of the game and the plot of the gameplay are basically completely separate until the last cutscene.
Yep. Yeah. And
Your
that I
player
feel
isn't
is
going to
right.
want to, yeah,
What's weird is that I can say that Blizzard has used this well. Has an example of how you do this right. You have the things only appear one after the other.
right.
Like, I couldn't actually do the story out of order. Scary hiccups.
Sorry.
So there's the chain of missives from what is this face? This is like in Act 3. So act way later. The big pit demon dude. Fat pit demon dude. In Ararat.
Mm,
I'm a casual, okay? In any case, all the missives that he's sending, like, why aren't you demons doing your damn job?
right.
I'm going to kill you all. You're so incompetent. You get those in order as long as you're moving through the story. Now, you can get them out of order once you've opened up like adventure mode and you're popping all over the place. But
Asmodan.
thank you. I wanted to say it started with a
Mm-hmm.
B, but I was like, who am I thinking of that starts with a B?
You're thinking of like Ball or something, but
I'm
yeah.
probably not thinking of Diablo. That's the problem. But
Well, I mean, Ball was in.
yeah, but he
He
looks
was the
different,
reason there was an
right?
Ariat crater.
That's
Yeah,
true.
he looked like an old guy in a giant palanquin made of spider legs.
Beautiful. Uh, I gazed off into the distance for a moment. I know you can't see me, but someone can. So yeah, like that was a good effective use of that. Even though you didn't need to see the logs to get what was going on, it helped
And
develop the
even if the villain
character.
monologues,
We're
yeah, and
terrible.
even if the villain monologues were terrible.
They are Warcraft. Like Warcraft only gets a pass because it has created its own aesthetic.
Right.
And it will stick to that aesthetic unto its very end. Whatever writhing, terrible, whimpering end that may be.
Bombast.
It has not come yet. But yeah, I mean, and that's what they leaned into it. I don't think they leaned into it as well as they could have, but I almost never do.
Right.
I try to enjoy things for what they are. I can't change what they are. I don't develop games. I'm not a game developer. Um,
Mm-hmm. But you just gotta appreciate the shit you get.
I can appreciate the work that was done, which doesn't mean I can't also have a thoughtful opinion on it. It means I don't email the
Right.
devs and tell them that they're pieces of crap because that's what even is that? Um,
Entitlement. That is entitlement.
That can be yeeted right into the sun, as the kids say. I don't think the kids say that. I think that's just something that elder millennials have picked up and we've decided that we like how it sounds. Yeet.
Yeah.
The bird gets it.
Ah,
So yeah, overall, that was a fun game. It was more fun
agree.
because, of course, we were playing it together. I had,
I don't know that I've gone through the whole thing without a
before.
partner.
Can you imagine how much that must suck to try to control multiple team members in different directions with different skill sets in that final encounter?
That's why the developers in one of the very first patches they put out introduced what they called, and this was like this made me kind of shake my head a little. They were like, okay, we understand that some of you prefer real time with pause, like Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter Nights,
Sure.
where you can just hit the space bar and the action stops. You can issue orders, and then you hit space bar and everything starts going again.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes,
Because I'm
perfect.
not a computer.
Right. I can't handle as many commands as a computer can give out in a
Mm-hmm.
second.
Yep.
But the way they implemented it was they made it so that your support, who has the team
The
stims
slowdown.
skill,
Mm-hmm.
which slows down the world, you automatically get it at max level,
Okay.
and it's available from the start,
Mm.
and that's your real time with pause.
But you could have just given me real time with pause.
Right. And she could have still had, or he or she still could have had the slowdown skill that gives
Because
you other
that's
buffs and stuff.
different. Yeah. Like that's a
Right.
different functionality.
Right.
Yeah. I actually accidentally hit the spacebar a few times trying to pause because that's the pause on a different game.
Yep.
And I just got into the habit of pushing it. So that's a thing that happened.